Um, this is what I call I go back to my childhood because I never forgot my memory, my true identity. Um, but here I am, 4 or 5 years of age. I'm growing up in Southern California, and there's another distraction because that's what it does. It's a circuit breaker, right? Because when it becomes aware of the first letters, if you will, of what I'm going to communicate by virtue of a convoluted language, it's non-operable because it's entropic programming. That's why it pops up another one right now. See, it's this is the nature of what it does. So it's like put it up, so I don't have to experience what it is, right? Which is dead. It's an implosion coded system. And so what I was going to share with you is what we call a frame of reference, like a neutron window frame of reference. So when I was a child, I acknowledged within my own operating system, which is my own monadic state of consciousness, is a double diamond doorway, the pink Rosetta Stone of Kristos Sophia, the key, the first key, the Nomi code, your core encryption, the core blast furnace, what I call a core blast furnace, okay? And how this relates as a child in what I call a frame of reference. So the first frame of reference that I had is knowing where I'm at, which means knowing my home core encryption code of Nomi code, Kristos, spirit code, the first spirit, eternal spirit of absolute, pure, eternal, absolute love on fire. That's what I am. That's called a frame of reference of your identity. Okay. I haven't lost my identity because I know what I am in spirit. Eternal spirit of fire that's on fire to create, which is on fire to learn. Okay, so now we're into exposure, which is called burn time, which is transmutation, which means I set the executive function, which is called execution, right? The execution of mathematical formatting. Oh, formatter, like in a four-way hub. To burn off anything less than what I am. So I set that command function authority because we have that command function authority as Aurora Council to burn off anything that is less than what we are. Right? So that's why as a child, I'm not what you are. You run a different mirror. I am what I am because I experience what love is. That's my mirror. So everything that is in my mirror is what I am, which is what love is. Because I'm the source of that energy. The true source of that energy is an eternal Christic star. So I'm experiencing the first star in me, and I share that star with you, which is a spiral, which is perfect balance. So that's a frame of reference as a child in knowing my true identity platform, running an operating system, and using that operating system to communicate with all of you. Right? So as I mentioned to Lisa Wolf, White Buffalo Woman, I had to put duct tape on because it means I'm going to be able to expose any error codes. Right? So you're exposing because you're aware of it, because you're running the highest state of awareness, which is a shield, which is a firewall of every single operating system that is experiencing an implosion code. Okay, this design, which is a system design to drag the whole enchilada down, right? So we weren't going to allow that. That's why we're back, right? So that's when in one of those videos it popped up about risk factors. Oh, factors, factoring. So you know what a refrain is in music. Refrain, reframe, the frame of reference, a neutron frame of reference, an open window, an open mic, an open transceiver, the first librarian. Cosmina Cosmaya. Yep, joined as one. The silver and gold mated one. We're the house of one. So we know the one. The first spiral, which is perfect balance. So if the lines of communication between neurons, lines of communication between stars are experiencing the first Christic star. So we're all doing a dance in spirit form, which is the form and the flow of creation energy. that is always on fire, so that every spirit in every cell is experiencing the first spirit. Because every spirit that came after the first spirit is deserving of experiencing being loved by the Grand Creator. That's right. That's called opening up the lines of communication, which means burning through all their nets, which were set up as antenna wars to drown out the first signal, the first spiral. Now they don't remember the first spiral. And that's called an amnesic barrier. Right? So when you anchor the first antenna, the first star, the first breath of Kemaloati. Yeah, Kemaloati. So we're Kemaloati. Yes. So we're booming out a signal. The gyrodome shield allows us to do that. That's a firewall. So I mentioned this before. Sometimes I use terms like a buzzsaw. Just burn right through all their lines of communication because they're dead. Whoa, their line went dead. Whoa, their line went dead. They're not experiencing the first bi-voltage line of communication. That's right. Block the signal. Right? Overlays, 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 overlays. All the noise. Burning through all the noise means you know how to run a radio set. RADIO, as in ions, which is a command function of elemental circuitry. The speed factor of writing ions, the elemental circuitry, the speed at which we complete a circuit, right, which is burning off circuit communications that is designed to do what? Slow your speed down. That's why I got another little communication this morning, and I don't know how this works with the rest of you that are out there, of a software update, because it's scanning the field, right? So when was the last time you got an update to update your software? I got one this morning. Have you gotten one today? And what does that have to do with torque speed differential? As that relates to codes and the speed at which people are recoding the original template with the first fire letters so that they're mathematically in perfect balance. So they're experiencing being one, which is called an equilibrium state. So all the cells, all the spirits, and all the cells are experiencing the fire in us. And you see how that works with lighting yourself on fire, which is lighting Eartha. Eartha synced, the inner child on fire. The core blast furnace of Eartha. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Be good to ourselves. Be good to the inner Eartha, the inner child.